whatever it wants.
Hey
we're
guys,
going to educate you guys on a little bit about the inlet. We're going to talk to you a little bit about the dolphins as well, sea turtles, all sorts of fun stuff. So we're hopefully going to keep you entertained on board today. However, I just can't guarantee those dolphins. So we do see them about 70% of the trips, so that's very good odds. I just don't want you to get any false hopes or expectations that the dolphins will do flips, tricks, or take epic selfies with you. That's SeaWorld, and that's a few thousand miles south of here, so you guys maybe plan your next vacation if you want to do that. But regardless, we're having a great time. You got an awesome maid on board. Chelsea is going to be taking care of you. Speaking of taking care of you, we do have some snacks available there, maybe some beverages. I'm not sure what she's got in her snack bar today, but she'll tell you more about that as we're making our way to the ocean, if you guys need anything to munch on. Other than that, I'll be back on the mic in a little bit. We're going to talk to you a little bit about the region. Welcome aboard.
Hey Mommy, can I move to the back so I can get a better view, or get up there?
So only 5 people can be up there.
How many do you think are up there?
I think Drew said he thought all 5 were up there already. They said we'll have to take turns up there. And I don't know if there's enough seats for all of us back there.
I just want to move to the back.
Maybe in the middle right here.
I want to go to the back though. Jacket.
Don't you think it's too cold to not have that on?
No.
You're not cold?
I'm not cold.
You feel those hands and those ears and that nose. My hands are definitely colder than your ears. With all my layers.
This is actually going to be a very good YouTube video, Mom.
How relaxing that water is.
Don't lean back, Steven.
Hey, well, I'm going to go back to the front and see if I can get a front view.
Need anything, just let me know, okay? All right.
To be spotted up there in the sky around our 11 o'clock there, 10 o'clock off the left-hand side of the boat. That is an osprey. So an osprey is one of our birds of prey out here in the Carolinas. We also have another one. You may be familiar with this. It's our national bird. So what is that?
Eagle.
The eagle, that's right. American bald eagle is also another bird of prey here in the Carolinas, among some other ones like owls, but there are a number of estuary or coastal dwelling birds like this. So the osprey is a really unique one. This is probably the most dominant one. I know you think the American bald eagle is a pretty powerful bird. It is, although it's a little bit larger. In the way of birds, sometimes the smaller, more nimble bird can outcompete the larger bird. So think of a giant aircraft bomber versus a little jet fighter, okay? So this osprey is really unique. If you watch it long enough, you may see it dive down and grab a fish.
Mom, I see something! Mom, I just saw it! I just saw it get a fish.
Hoist their own body weights back to their nest. So imagine going to McDonald's, getting a cheeseburger, you're twice your body weight, and bringing it home with you. It'd be a tough one, right? So anyway, these birds will fly with usually mullets is one of their favorite foods out here. It's also a staple fish that you'll find here in Murrells Inlet and the near coastal area. So these birds will fly down, splash down with their sharp talons and beaks, tear apart those fish and fly back to their nest. So keep your eyes peeled. We had some other birds out here as well. Out there around 11 o'clock, there's going to be another bird that's tucked into the marsh system there. This is an all-white bird, very easy to spot due to its lack of camouflage. And this is one of our great egrets. So the egrets belong to kind of those stork crane-like families of birds, a long, slender animal. And these folks, these birds, they just kind of wait for their prey to come to them. So if you're out on the kayak tour with Chelsea and you want to see some of these birds up close and personal, that's a good way to do it. But that bird will wade just along the edges of the salt marsh here and grab fish right from the creek. So anyway, that's a quick little introduction. As we saw those little birds there, he goes flying off there in the distance. But really a unique animal there and a great one to see. So let's get started here with some talks. Is anyone's first time here to Murrells Inlet? Let me hear it. Fantastic. So we got some first timers here. Has anyone been to South Carolina before? No?
Yes.
All right, cool, excellent. So we got a lot of newbies on board. So you guys are actually, believe it or not, sitting in one of the most productive ecosystems on the planet. The salt marsh estuary produces more living organic material than even the tropical rainforest. So this is quite an amazing ecosystem to be in. So just by sheer volume and sheer size of these animals that are produced here, we even outcompete the rainforest. Now the rainforest is much more diverse. So there may be hundreds of species in just a 10 square foot region of that forest, where here we lack a lot of that diversity but make up for it in our productivity. So any of the animals you're going to see along our creeks, whether it be some of the fish, the shrimps, the crabs, they reproduce quite rapidly in a short amount of time, and their offspring is in the millions. So as the fish, the crabs, the shrimp, oysters, clams, whatever seafood you may be into, as that reproduces, it releases its little babies all the way out in the water column, and they drift along as plankton. So plankton is one of the smallest forms of life out here in the oceans. Anyone SpongeBob SquarePants fan? Yeah, what's his arch enemy?
Kill plankton!
That's right, plankton. But plankton, believe it or not, he's not as evil. He's actually very essential for life on Earth, and this is what has a lot of the environmentalists a little worried with our changing oceans, is that plankton is perhaps the largest producer of oxygen that we breathe. So it's estimated that about 70% of our oxygen that we breathe here on planet Earth is produced by the top 200 feet of the photic zone of the ocean. A little aside here, we got some more birds off the port side there. Those are going to be the cormorants, those birds that are on the little dock. And then there's little white birds up there that's a mixture of little gulls and terns as well. So both are pretty big predators out here when it comes to the salt marsh. So anyway, plankton, you have photoplankton, which is the oxygen-producing algae, and then you have zooplankton, which is pretty much everything else. Most every animal produces some type of offspring like that, and we'll start building the food chain from there. Speaking of the food chain, we do have some big key players out here in salt marsh estuary specifically. So does everyone see these little white rocks out there off that port side, off the left side around 9, 10 o'clock? Well, those aren't rocks at all. Those are old oyster shells, and the oysters here in the salt marsh are a keystone species of the ecosystem. So without the Atlantic oyster, this entire ecosystem would collapse. Salt marsh oysters provide all sorts of structure support. They provide habitats and even filtration for the salt marsh. So it's estimated that the entire volume of water when it comes into the salt marsh twice a day, because we have a semi-diurnal tidal cycle, will be filtered by these oysters. So they're eating all sorts of organic particles and, believe it or not, some inorganic stuff. A lot of our pollutions, our microplastic, our hydrocarbons that are out here in the oceans and oils are trapped into the oysters. So they serve a lot of functions to try to keep our waters clean out in the salt marsh. So really the essential critter. And they'll literally be found just beneath the water level all along almost every bank out here in the salt marsh. So if you guys come back out here in about 6 hours, you'll see all the oyster banks rapidly exposed. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break there. You guys got Chelsea chit-chatting with you a little bit. I'll be back on the mic in just a minute here to tell you some more fun marine facts. Starboard side are at 3 o'clock. They're feeding out here, so you can see them instead of perched up, resting on the docks, they're down there grabbing little fish. So we're making our way to the ocean here. We have about one last little mile to go. In fact, off the left-hand side of this is what's known locally as Millionaire's why that could be. So off the left-hand side, any guesses? Because you gotta be pretty rich to live over there, right? So those are some fancy beach houses there in Garden City Beach. Anyone staying in Garden City? So these are the South Strand area there of Garden City Beach. Garden City is a great little area if you guys are looking for things to do. You may be able to see way out in the distance where the salt marsh ends at the very north, and that's going to be the causeway behind us, way out there. But there's some cool little downtown boardwalks there, fishing pier to go out and maybe cast a line, and old ice cream stands and stuff like that. So maybe worthwhile. Just to familiarize yourselves to the right, off to the right-hand side, that's all of Murrells Inlet. So as far as the eye sees, all that tree line, that's also the maritime forest. So Murrells Inlet is known as the seafood capital of South Carolina. It has more seafood restaurants per capita than any other place in the state. So I guess we've been deemed the seafood capital of South Carolina. Pretty nice area here. A lot of our restaurants do source a lot of the seafood locally, so if anyone's caught up on their Netflix environmental documentary, Seaspiracy is a good one that just came out, but talking about the plight of industrial fishing and other human impacts on the ocean. But they talk a lot about sustainability, and one of the best things you can potentially do is kind of purchase your seafood, even your local products, whether it be beef, vegetables, from a local market. Okay, the reason being is that local fishermen, local seafood, local hunters even, so if you're a hunter yourself, you go out and get your own deer, that is a far less environmental impact on it than shopping at one of the mega stores, because the mega stores, they source their food from mega industrial industries. So whether it be industrial farming, industrial seafood gathering, and at the rate those things are producing and taking from the ocean, well, it's not very sustainable. Okay, so it's estimated that by 2050 there potentially could be more garbage in the ocean than actually fish. So that's a scary statistic we don't want to see happen. So Murrells Inlet prides itself on its seafood, and we do buy a lot of the local fish from our local fishermen. We have what is known as the Ranger fleet. So a lot of our small family-owned and operated fishing vessels will indeed go out there for 3 to about 7 days at a time and bring back all sorts of fresh fish, whether it be local snapper, grouper, they'll tile fish as well as a popular one. And then they'll bring these into the market here. Restaurants will buy them, and even our local seafood markets up and down Business 17. So on your way out, maybe you'd like to pick up some of that for dinner. Many of our restaurants here, we own 7 or 8 restaurants along our Murrells Inlet Marsh Walk. Another great choice. So if you guys haven't found your lunch plans, many of those folks do serve some good local, freshly caught seafood. Directly in front of us at our 12 o'clock, that is going to be Huntington Beach State Park. That's a nice little area here for you. This is full, it's got a castle, there's some hiking trails, and a nice causeway with even an alligator pond there. So if you guys want to see some gators, it maybe is still a little cold out for the alligators. They're usually going to a winter hibernation, which is kind of like suspended animation. They nestle in the mud banks and kind of turn their bodies and systems off. Anyway, we're now clear to put the boat in gear and kind of pick up some speed here. And we're going to head out to the ocean, find some wildlife for you. Who's ready to try to find some dolphins with me? Fantastic. So we have been seeing a little baby dolphin mother here in the salt marsh. I have not spotted it yet today, but do keep your eyes out at all times. You never know if you may be the one to spot it. Remember, guys, this boat's like a giant clock. If you guys can remember, 12 o'clock will be behind us. 12 o'clock will be in front of us. 6 o'clock will be behind us. 3 o'clock's off the right-hand side. 9 o'clock is off the left-hand side. So if you do see something, whether it be a splash, a blow, or a body part of the dolphin there, let us know, and we will all look in that direction and slow the boat down as well. So I'm going to pick up some speed here, get cruising there, and get rolling.
Yeah.
savior. That's a hard pill to swallow. Can't take it. weather.
Dolphin 10 o'clock.
Perfect weather.
I got it. Yeah.
Litchfield, yeah, like anyone selling Paul's sisters.
Huh?
Mom's husband, Paul.
Uh-huh.
His sisters married brothers. So our Aunt Stella, which means star, Aunt Stella and Aunt Annie Lou married two brothers, Harry and who? Litchfield.
Harry
Anyway, this
and
is
Dr. Pepper.
This is Litchfield Beach, she says.
Uh-huh. Harry and
like our-
Dr. Pepper.
Like our aunts and uncles.
So, Harry and Dr. Pepper.
No, still.
Dr. Pepper Coke soda.
Be careful.
Not sponsored.